Ladies and gentlemen, we just found the latest and greatest here at Foretravel. This is a 2025 Foretravel Presidential, and today we're with Vice President of Foretravel, Tile 4. This is quite the coach. What's going on here, sir?
Yeah, so we have a straight out of production 2025 luxury villa bunk. So it has the new motorized bunk floor plan that we'll get into. We can go through the bays. Just came out of detail, so it's shined up, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with this coach and the improvements you made for 2025. From the paint schemes to the floor plans, Foretravel is firing on all cylinders. But I have to ask, what is the current MSRP on this 2025 as it sits?
Luxury villa bunk, which is one of the more expensive floor plans to produce, just with the double shower and the tile work and the labor that goes into it. This coach is going to come in right around $1,650,000.
And we did have an opportunity to tour the Foretravel factory to see how these are built. I'm extremely impressed. So definitely worth checking out that video. We'll leave that in the description below. But do you think we could take a closer look at this 25?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Yeah, so the exterior of the Presidential, what's going on here, sir?
We have the rooms in right now, so this is a great illustration of our slide out mechanism. When it's retracted, there is no flange. It is sealed off with that pneumatic seal. You look at it from a distance, you can't even tell that the slide out exists.
Yeah, extremely flush down the side of the coach, and I love this color combination with the white, silver, and blue. But I don't believe I've seen this design before. Is this a new design for 25?
This was introduced new for 25, so we're calling this Orion. It has gotten wonderful reviews.
Yeah, and I'm noticing no bay handles as well. Is that something new?
That was new for the 24 model year, but it changed the exterior look altogether by eliminating that handle and going to the push button. And we kept a key just as an override in the event that the button fails.
I know there's a lot of redundancy built into these coaches just to make sure you've got backup options if something isn't functioning. But what's going on inside the bays here?
Okay, well, we can start at the front. For our reference, we always reference passenger side, and we start at the front. So this is P1, and then driver side is D1 at the very front on the driver's side. So when you push it, the lock illuminates green, just showing that it's unlocked. If it's locked, it would turn red and not open. So here we have the Dometic refrigerator freezer combo that's on a slide out tray. That's standard on the Presidential as well as the Realm. So coming back to the second bay, you have your first motorized tray. It'll extend out 70%. We supply the customer with a rug, and we also include a Spartan care kit. So this is filters and belts for their first annual service. So it includes everything within this kit. And why we do that is we also include 3 years of maintenance with the coach, but a lot of shops can't get filters and belts. So here the customer has them with them if they need them.
Definitely thinking ahead, and I love the style. Always nice to have that Foretravel. I've got to pull this out just to show, but that's a really nice rug there with that Foretravel logo. Really nice little touch. Yeah, and I see a pressure washer back here. Does that come with the coach?
It is an option, but it is selected on every coach for the most part, and so we do plumb water to both sides to hook up as well as power for the pressure washer, and it's mounted to the wall on the other side that we'll see coming up.
And I like this positioning of your entertainment area. A lot of the other motorhomes are going to put that in the bay, taking up valuable space, but this is a real nice location for this.
It is, and it's also on an arm that you can pull out. So you have your sound bar, it's tied in, you can use your phone to control it. It is all integrated in, so it works nice.
And then this is going to keep the glare off the TV. And for some of the folks that aren't quite as tall as I am, you've got a little strap here to pull that down. In Bay 3, we're seeing a lot of goodies here. What's all going on in this bay?
Yeah, so these are the loose items, particular things on the coach. So we have our vacuum cleaner hose kit, but you also have your floor sweep. So a lot of customers will never even get this out because you can simply Swiffer it up, hit the toe sweep, and not mess with the hose. You have sleeve for the hitch because our hitch is 20,000 pound towing capacity, so it's a 2.5-inch receiver. So a lot of customers only have a 2-inch receiver, so we include that. You have an air hose for the air connections in the engine compartment and the generator compartment. You have a 50 to 30 amp pigtail adapter. This is to drain your holding tank. We have a flush valve where you can hook out a external water hose, to spray down the inside of the holding tank. This gets that connection out of the bay so you don't get any of that residual water inside your bay. And then from here, we just have roadside flashers, fire extinguisher, your Tyron kit, and then another roadside flasher kit just in case you need it.
Yes, sir, and talking about this is the Tyron tire bands, a really big safety feature in case of a blowout on your steer tires, but there's a lot of other safety features that you implement into these coaches. What's some of the safety stuff that you do?
Safety is a top priority for us, and so because of that, we start off with Mobileye, which is lane departure collision avoidance, and then that's tied in with haptic seat warning. You have collision mitigation, you have adaptive cruise control. We actually even have a interlock on the park brake where you have to apply pressure to the brake pedal in order to release the park brake, so a customer's pet can't accidentally release the parking brake. You have the Tyron run bands in the front. On the Presidential, we have the blind spot monitoring with the indications in the mirror. You have a backup alarm, you have fire suppression, you have an escape door with integrated ladder. We pay close attention to safety and make sure that the customer has as many tools that are available to them.
And then going back into this bay, I'm seeing these extra dinette chairs, and I've got to give everybody just a little sneak preview of what they're going to see on the interior, but just beautiful style and design, even on your extra dinette chairs.
We cover these in-house in our upholstery department, so it matches the interior for that particular coach. So we just pull the leather that's used from the coach and cover them here in-house.
Even just the wood grain here, we got to see in the factory tour a lot of the work behind the scenes, and I really have to compliment your team. You've got an extremely skilled team in this factory here.
Thank you. So coming back to P4, one thing I haven't mentioned is the lights you'll notice come on when we open the door, so they're actually motion activated. If they happen to leave one on, you don't have to worry about it just staying on in the basement. So in here we provide extra tile that's on the floor, so if the customer ever has the need for it. Behind this cover, we have our house filtration system, so there's 2 water filters in here. And then all your network modules, your battery disconnect, your voltage sensitive relay, that automatically charges both sets of batteries depending upon the voltage. So we're starting to get into the meat of the coach. And then coming further back, we have our plumbing distribution center. So we use the ManaBlock system, which allows the hot or the cold valve to be closed off to any dispenser throughout the coach. Let's say you had a faucet that had a leak. You can shut off just the hot side or the cold side specific to that faucet and not lose water to the rest of the coach. You can also drain your tanks here and your lines, so if you're doing a winterization.
Okay, and what are the holding tank capacities in this coach?
Sure, so the holding tank, your fresh water is 123 gallons, and then we do a combined 160 gallon gray and black with a gray water bypass.
Okay, and then diesel fuel tank? 200 gallons. A lot of tank capacities if you want to do some dry camping in this coach.
Absolutely, and a 15-gallon def tank.
Yeah, and I love just how everything is finished out with this kind of a brushed aluminum look on the face, so everything isn't exposed.
Yeah, it's brushed stainless, so you don't have to worry about it rusting. And then everything's labeled, on the side, so it's nice.
Yes, sir.
Coming back, just touching on the safety, this is one of 3 sensors on each side for the blind spot detection. So this is number 2. A third one at the rear of the coach and one at the very front. So this is what gives you that indication in your mirror if an object is beside you.
Yeah, so coming around to the tag axle, you were doing some 360s earlier, showing us this turning radius, very tight turning radius. Is there a passive steer tag axle here?
It's a passive steer tag. You can do a curb to curb circle in 49 feet. Wall to wall is about 53 feet. So with a 45-foot coach, that's pretty sharp.
Yeah, that'll definitely make getting in and out of campgrounds much easier.
Yes. The access bay at the very rear, so it does open, and you have access to your engine batteries, as well as your fuel filter, your air filter, your electric engine block heater, the def tank, but we also have the remote def fill on the driver's side.
And as we're walking around this coach, I'm noticing all of this metallic and the silver really popping. This paint is on another level. What are you doing in your paint department to separate you from everyone else?
So we use BASF automotive paint, and we work directly with them and their chemists and all the clears and everything. So we spend a lot of time. 4 of my painters actually just got back from a 3-day school in Houston, so we pay a lot of attention to the exterior finish. in the clearing process.
This rear end of the Presidential looks like you guys have made some pretty big upgrades on the styling. I can't pinpoint what's different about this, but what is new on this coach?
Yeah, so we introduced this whole new rear cap in 2024, and with that we added the stainless accents, new running lights at the top, new camera inserts, linear lights for the Presidential brake lights with the chrome badging. This particular coach has chrome stainless steel. We also offer a black stainless steel.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with just all of the styling and the curves and the Presidential Series badging. And then of course, that Cummins X15, 605 horsepower, an absolute beast.
1,950 foot-pounds of torque. It'll move you down the road.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit about safety, and this is something that I don't see in all motorhomes that have that X15. What is going on here?
Yep, so this is the FogMaker fire suppression. This certainly ties into the safety features. We put it standard on all of our coaches, and it is a wonderful system for the customer, but it is a great peace of mind.
And I love the way that paint scheme comes through that rear camera. Really sleek design up there. Coming around to the driver's side, I see the emergency egress door, again, another safety feature. Then I'm seeing an access door here. What's going on?
This is your driver's side DEF fill. So this is a remote fill for the DEF tank that we just saw on the passenger side.
Okay, so you can fill up DEF on both sides.
Yes. So coming forward, we'll get into your utility bay where you have a nice backlit Foretravel etched stainless piece of steel. You have hot and cold water, your tank flush. You can dump your tanks here and see your tank levels. And then your sewer hose storage is inside here. It'll go through the trap door. And again, coming back to that 2 is 1, 1 is none, you have manual overrides for your electric dump valves.
Nice, so manual dump if you want to dump your
Yes.
holding tanks.
And then if you look here, you can see our UV light. That is the product that eliminates the need for chemical being put in the holding tank.
Oh, yeah.
So that creates ozone using a UV light, which is inside the tank, and therefore it kills any bacteria or odor within the tank.
You're the first one I've heard of that's doing that. How long have you been doing that?
We've been doing that now for 3 years.
Wow.
And it causes a little bit of floor plan change because you actually have to vent to the top and to the bottom. So you have to make sure you have that cabinet wall space inside.
So no holding tank chemicals needed then?
No.
Oh, that'll save some bucks over time and just one less thing to worry about.
Absolutely.
So your customers don't have to worry about holding tank smells?
No, it requires a annual light and ballast change, but it has a simple indicator on the unit itself. So when that light's not on, you undo one screw, pull out the light, put in a new one, and you're good to go.
Very cool.
So now we're in the bay with your shore line. So we have an electric shore line that retracts. It's 35 foot long. Your water hose is 50 foot long and electrically retracts. Both are manual pull out. You can also see your AquaHot 600, your HWH hydraulic pump and reservoir for the slide outs, and your jacks and your generator. You also have your transfer relay switch, which protects you from power spikes. Make sure that the power is good coming into the coach, either from the generator or your shoreline. And then you have your backup AquaHot register mounted on the wall in there, again coming back to that redundancy on the systems.
And then I always like seeing this too, a little cover here just to seal this off when you're not using that to run your cords through.
We're getting into the back side of the storage compartment, and again it'll extend out either direction 70% of the bay's width and support of up to 1,000 pounds.
When I see these extra dinette chairs, I'm really looking forward to seeing inside of this coach. I want to see the design here. If they look anything like these chairs, I bet you it's looking really good in there.
So in the last storage bay on the driver's side, we have another water connection as well as a 120 for your pressure washer. Here you can also see the pressure washer mounted on the wall. It's in a little cradle. You simply undo 2 latches, pull it out. It comes with a cart. That's what's in the box if you want to wheel it around, or you can just set it on the ground and use it if you want to. We get into the house batteries. So we run 6 batteries as standard, and then 2 are optional, but everybody always options for the 2 additional house batteries. They are are a gel cell battery. We found that they perform better than other types of batteries that we've experimented with in the past.
I've got to hit you with the hard questions on behalf of the viewers.
Sure.
Is there a reason there's not a lithium battery system in this coach?
So we have looked at that, and that's a very good question. We have had customers that have asked for it, and they've done it on their own. You know, it changes a little bit on the inverter charge rates and things of that nature. My thing is to do a full lithium system, I need a second alternator, I need a bracket, and I need that to be Cummins and Spartan approved, and that hasn't happened yet. So I don't want to mess with any warranties or anything, you know, for the customer, the end user. The price of a true lithium system is going to be $75,000 to do it right, and that's a big number to throw into already, you know, an expensive unit that we're trying to maintain, you know, a certain price point on.
And when you start, you know, throwing $75,000 options, it's easy to jump up another $1 million real quickly in these. But talking about pricing, I really have to commend you and your team. Over the last 4 years, I've seen some of the other Class A motor coaches jump up to 70% over the last few years. And to my knowledge, the 2020 Realms and Presidentials have gone up maybe 10% in the last 4 years or so?
Yeah, I would say that's pretty close. You know, we pay very close attention to that and very conscientious of that. You can always throw money at it, but at what point do you price yourself out of the market?
And this is really a sweet spot to have this level of coach for under $2 million. A lot of the other coaches that are going to have all of these features are going to be pushing on $3 million here. So I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
And then I'm assuming access to your 200-gallon diesel fuel tank?
That's correct. So you have a twin directly on the other side, so you can fill from both sides simultaneously or just one side.
You can run that 12.5 generator for a long time off of 200 gallons of diesel fuel.
That you can. And then the very last bay, we get into more of the chassis fuses and harnesses that come from Spartan, and then we have some air valves for the pocket doors and the slide step cover at the entry door here as well. But it is usable storage space for the customer. You also have your switch to extend your generator hydraulically.
And you don't need to start the engine to do that?
No, sir, you don't have to.
That's nice to access it. A lot of times you have to fire up the engine, so nice feature, nice easy access to that 12.5.
Again, coming back to the redundancy on the systems, the entry step, it's the most robust step in the industry. It's wonderful. If something were to fail on it, you actually have an override within the generator compartment where you can release the motor and manually operate the step either in the extended or the retracted position.
Yes, sir, that executive step is very robust. I've even done some videos jumping up and down on it. It doesn't even budge the coach, where a lot of other motorhome steps, you start jumping around on them, there's gonna be some flex going on.
Absolutely.
Beautiful styling on the front end of this coach, but I'm noticing a few different sensors here, and here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is coming in with the on-guard system. So this is your collision mitigation and your adaptive cruise control. Then you have your Mobileye, which is your lane departure and audible tone, as well as the haptic. That's what triggers that. Then we have automatic windshield wiper sensor.
Oh, nice.
So automatic rain. So you can leave it in auto, and if that sensor detects water, it'll automatically hit your wipers. And then moving up above the windshield, you'll notice the 6th and final camera to give you your 360-degree view around the coach at the dash.
Yeah, very cool. And I've got to compliment your lighting as well. You've got a backlit Foretravel logo here and just the presidential badging. Really a sleek design on the front here. All right, you think we could show the folks on YouTube a tour of the inside of this coach?
Absolutely.
You guys are in for a treat on this one. So the interior on this 2025 is absolutely stunning. What is going on inside of this coach?
So this is brand new 25 that just came out of production. It is a luxury villa bunk, so it has 2 full bathrooms.
And this is the presidential. Now, what are some of the interior differences between a Realm and a presidential?
Sure, very good question. So one of the first things you see when you walk in is the infinity light box. So this is exclusive to the presidential, along with some safety features and some exterior accents as well.
I'm just amazed that that box is not 6 feet into the air, because it just gives such a depth with that infinity lighting, but it's It's not as deep as it appears, though?
No, it is not. It's a two-way mirror that we fabricate here in-house.
Yeah, so many little details like the fabric around the lighting, but what else is it about this Foretravel that separates you from other motor coaches in the industry?
Sure, so all of our furniture is custom made by Villa. We use 100% leather for all the coverings, all the seating surfaces. So either Villa covers it or we bring it in-house and we may do some smaller items. You know, the floor is all hand laid after the cabinets are mounted, which we pointed out in the build process. And then you have an electric heat mat underneath the floor that is split into 3 zones.
Talking about heating and cooling, those ACs are blowing nice and cool on a warm Texas day.
We have 3 15,000 BTUs and they also have heat pumps. And then you have, on the presidential, you have the AquaHot 600 for heating in addition to the floor heat.
And in the build process video, we talked a little bit about the slide rooms. Now, these are HWH slides, but they're a much different slide room than we're going to see in production motor coaches. What's different about the slide rooms that Foretravel uses?
Sure, so HWH fabricates the mechanism and then we build the slide room here at our factory. That allows us to adjust the sizes depending upon the floor plan and control the depth and the width, because we're not only concerned with, you know, living space, but also travel space when you're traveling, so you can still utilize the coach. You know, you yourself know how critical that is when you're on the road.
Yes, sir, and I like to point out the height of your slide rooms as well, very tall. And I've got to compliment, there's no cabinets above the sofa on this side, a huge TV, and then these little ottomans, just such a small little feature, but makes such a big difference. You got the 2 cup holders, those will fold over, a really nice feature that you guys do.
Those are great, and it's great to pull up in between the driver and passenger chair when you're traveling, and you do have those cup holders that are offset, so you can offset it with the 2 chairs.
Yes, sir, so that can double as a driver console as well.
Absolutely.
Now, this is a bunk coach with 2 full bathrooms. This is my favorite floor plan of any motorhome. You guys have heard me talking about it over and over, so I got to tip my hat to you and your team for designing this floor plan, because you were the first to do it that I know of. But is there additional sleeping up front in the salon?
There is. You have a queen size airbed that can also pull out. So hypothetically, you could sleep 6 people in here comfortably.
Yeah, with 2 showers, I think everyone's going to get along a little bit better. So.
And then also new for the 25-year model, the bunks, we actually motorized the top bunk to double up for closet space when not in use.
This is a big improvement. I'm really excited to see you guys do this. Got this nice Samsung TV in the slide room, but I'm noticing an area up here. Is there another TV up here?
We do. So we actually used to purchase this mechanism. We're now building it in-house ourselves for the lift. With that, we did increase the size to 55-inch all the way across.
Yes, sir, and I like to point out that when that TV comes all of the way down, you have a very wide entryway here, so very easy to get in and out of the coach without worrying about your shoulder bumping into that TV. Plenty of room here, and we're going to go more in depth on this cockpit when we test drive the coach. Coming over to the booth area here, I've got to say, this is the coolest tic-tac-toe board I've ever seen. Is this just staged with the coach, or?
Yeah, so we just stage all the coaches for showing purposes.
Hey, I like it. If the kids want to play a little tic-tac-toe, very cool. This is extremely comfortable. I could see, you know, 2 people or even 4 people sitting very comfortably, but can this extend out if you have more guests?
Absolutely. So you just simply pull the end out and remove the back cushion, and then install the seat cushion, and then the back cushion goes right in place.
Yeah, very cool, and I love that button tough backing there. Very nice style.
And then you have a leaf that the table can extend as well.
Okay, so you could probably comfortably sit, you know, 6 people if needed.
Yeah, depending upon how big your plates are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So coming back into the galley area here, what type of appliances do you use?
Sure, so we use a Signature Kitchen Suite. We've had really good success with them. The refrigerator has a door-in-door feature and for dual access, and it's all stainless lined as well. The really cool thing about it is, like this particular one, we'll make 2 kinds of ice. So you can have nugget ice or craft ice for your drinks.
I think some of you craft cocktail enthusiasts may be able to appreciate this. I'm noticing in second, looks like a wine cooler refrigerator.
It's a 18-bottle wine chiller.
Nice little spot to keep the wine cool. And can you set different temperatures in that wine cooler?
It'll go down to 40 degrees.
Yeah, and then just above that wine cooler, some really nice deep storage with these deep drawers. I like to point out that dovetail construction.
And you'll notice each one takes 20 pounds to pull out. So they're all self-closing, soft close, so that way you don't have to worry about them coming out going down the road.
Nice. And every square inch impresses me. All of this indirect lighting and that material on the slide room face, really nice look. But what else is going on in the galley over here?
So obviously real estate is a big thing in a motorhome because you only have so many square feet to work with, so everything counts. So we try to maximize that with a countertop extension, but then that doubles up as a useful drawer as well. And then below that, we actually have a double culinary drawer, so you can stack it and not lose that. And of course, you have your not to release Fisher Paykel dishwasher.
Beautiful countertops with those larger grains, and I love to point out the way these grains flow through the sink covers and the cooktop covers. A lot of little
Absolutely.
details. And when we were going through the factory tour build process video, you talked about some stuff that you do to protect the lines and cables that does sacrifice some space. What was going on with that again?
Sure, so anytime we introduce plumbing or electrical into the kitchen, because there's so many cables and drain hoses and supply lines coming in, we do run it through an energy chain that only allows it to flex so far, so you don't have to worry about kinking or pinching. We feel like it's a good trade-off. We do consume some real estate, but it ensures the customer doesn't have problems down the road.
Okay, where are you going to lose storage?
Under the kitchen, so that is what is actually behind this panel that is removable.
But that's probably going to prevent a lot of headaches down the road.
Absolutely. I mean, every time you cycle this room in or out, you know, those hoses are moving, so that energy chain keeps them protected and, you know, prevents any further damage.
And your family's been building motorhomes since 1967, so you've had a lot of years to learn a lot of that little stuff.
That's right.
Now, coming into this part of the coach, the most popular motorhome floor plan, in my opinion. When did Foretravel start doing this floor plan with the 2 full bathrooms and bunks?
With the 2 full bathrooms, I want to say it was around 2016.
And this coach also has an option. If you need help convincing your wife to buy this motorhome, I think there's an option back here that'll help close the deal. But what's going on in the bunk area here that's new for 2025?
Sure, so the doors are completely different, where before they were individual doors. So we did 2 bifold doors and then made the bunks motorized. So you then have individual shades to block off that section if you want to leave the doors open but want your privacy. Or you can run this bunk all the way to the ceiling and have closet storage on the bottom. So now what is really nice about the bunk setup is now I have the flexibility to increase my closet space if the bunks are not being used, by simply running this all the way to the ceiling, and then we have a closet rod on the bottom all the way across.
If you have a single person staying in this bed, first of all, if the lighting doesn't get your kids excited, I don't know what they're going to get excited about. But if just one person is staying here, you have so much more headroom that it feels more like a room. You're not going to be as claustrophobic, but then also great floor plan with this hanging bar if you want to use it as a closet for a couple. I think this is the most versatile floor plan in a motorhome. Definitely the most sought after, best for resale value. This is the one in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and then also the ability to have the ducted AC that you can control, you know, within the bunk as well.
And then there's individual windows for each bunk as well. Really cool feature. And I like to point out how quickly that bunk dropped. That's a big step up for 2025. I think folks are going to be excited about this change.
I agree with you on that.
Absolutely. Now the bunk is really exciting, but this is where I got sold on this coach. The inlay on this door is really cool. And then here we have 2 full showers and a very good sized shower here for your guests, or if a husband and wife want to take showers at the same time and have their own bathrooms. A lot of times the wives will kick their husband out to the middle bathroom here and take that huge rear bath for themselves. So whether you're traveling as a couple or with kids or guests, just so much value in having that second shower. Yeah, just so much beautiful tile work, the way it all comes together. And then you've got your breaker panels here, AC controls, a nice vent with the fan, and I like what they did did with the vent cover here, very sleek design. Then if you're using this area as a closet and you just want to close everything off, you can do that very easily by just closing these doors, and you can really feel that quality. They snapped into place there when I closed those. Well, what type of mechanism is holding these doors closed?
So we actually recess magnets into the edge of the door and the trim going around the opening. So then when the door's in alignment, those magnets are holding the door closed.
Even with the bunks and the second full bathroom, we still have a lot of room in the rear suite here. What's all going on back here in the bedroom?
We start with the bed. It's actually a full-size king, split in the middle, so it's a split king. And you can control each side independently, and then each side actually has a massage feature integrated into it.
And then storage-wise here in the bedroom, it looks like there's a TV on a televator, but do we have some closet space?
You do. Notice the illuminated rod comes on when you open the door, and then storage drawers below.
Again, very clean, that dovetail construction. And is that a 20-pound latch as well?
It is. The core is covering it up a little bit, but for the 25-year bottle, we included wireless charging on each nightstand. You can simply put your phone there in the evening. We also, if you look inside of this cabinet, there's a 120 plug in addition to a pass-through hole. So this is really designed for a CPAP machine, and you have one on each end of that overhead. So you can store the CPAP in the overhead and just run the cable through.
So you can run a CPAP on either side. Yep. And then you mentioned the wireless charging, but I'm also noticing a pop-up with an outlet and
yes.
USB ports bedside.
Yes.
So we've got a nice mirror on the pocket door here. Now, some of the realms that I've seen are not going to have the pocket air door. They're going to have a manual door. Is that something only on the presidentials? Or?
Yes, it is. It's one of the presidential exclusives for the pneumatic doors. So you simply press and hold the button, and air will retract the door.
And then you've got this huge rear bathroom back here. If you're having a tough time convincing your wife to buy a motorhome, if this feature can't convince her, I don't know what will. This has a full bathtub suite with a TV and beautiful tile work, beautiful decor. I think you've got the competition beat with this option, Tile.
That was introduced when we introduced the double bunk, the bathrooms together. We initially released it with the tub, so around that same 2016 timeframe.
Yeah, you've been doing this floor plan for a few years now. Is this one of your most popular floor plans?
Definitely one of the more popular ones.
And have you improved the shower? You know, looking back at some of the 2016s, I don't recall the TV being at quite as much of an angle and quite as much detail work on the tile. Have you made improvements to this rear?
Absolutely, and you know, products have improved over the years, and floor plan tweaks, just like the motorized top bunk now. You know, I mean, that kind of changes this whole floor plan altogether.
Absolutely, and there's one little cushion back here. You mentioned this is a step up to make it a little easier to get into the bathtub there?
That's correct.
Yeah, really nice what you guys are doing back there, but what else is going on in this rear bathroom?
You do have a cedar-lined double-hanging closet space here, as well as closet space here with the combination washer and dryer.
Yeah, with the illuminated hanging bars, is that every closet's going to have a downlit hanging bar?
Again, that is one of the items that is specific for the presidential.
Yeah, I love the way that they put that same solid surface that they use for the countertops over the washer dryer. Really gives it a finished out look. And is that a feature in the presidential? Are you going to find that in the Realm as well?
You will see this in the Realm as well.
Okay, very cool.
One of the key safety features that I'd like to point out that we, discussed in the production process is the escape door located in the back. So in addition to the egress windows up front, your entry door, you do have your escape door here with the integrated ladder in the lower panel that telescopes.
Yes, are a very important option to have. I can appreciate that. And then also just loading and unloading stuff into your closet. Sometimes it's easier just to open that door, load up the closets from the rear of the coach as well.
Absolutely.
All right, Tyler, you sure you're gonna let me drive this 25 presidential?
Absolutely. So once you release the parking brake, I want you to hit the page button, and that's gonna display your 360 here. Then you have your two side mounted cameras here. And then when you activate the blinker, it'll go full screen to that respective side.
So there's my left blinker.
And then you have your TPMS, your speed, your lane departure will be here. Of course, your collision mitigation system is here. And then right now your engine brake is on low. And so to adjust that is simple on the tripod. Turn it on and off here, low, medium, high.
Yeah, I really like having that on the steering wheel. And then we also have our day and night shade controls on the steering wheel as well. Very convenient.
As well as hands-free answering and end for your Bluetooth, or if you have CarPlay. So if you ever wanted to do CarPlay, you can just simply plug your phone into the port located underneath the wireless charger, so your text messages and everything will come through.
Really nice positioning for the wireless charger. If you were to use your phone's navigation, it's very easy to see with your peripheral vision. And then this over here, there's a lot of different functions going on. This reminds me of like a Mercedes-Benz or BMW infotainment system with the different menus, different options. What's all going on over here?
That is your VDC, video display control. So that is for the dash, and so with that you can control what's displayed here in the top corner. You can adjust the dash intensity. You have your automatic traction control. You can adjust your premier steer, the resistance on the wheel with the TRW system, and then you simply have a map light right there.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, very convenient. And then these seats, are these heated and cooled?
Heated and cooled with massage, and then you have all the air adjustments. What's nice about the driver's chair is once you're parked and you extend the rooms, this does have a swivel base, so you can incorporate that into your living room area.
And then we've got the step cover down there. Just beautiful tile work there.
It has two 500-pound tracks on it, and it's 1/4-inch aluminum, so you don't have to worry about it failing.
Very robust, yes sir. All right, well I'm really looking forward to taking this for a spin, and then we're gonna do a decibel test as well while it's going down the road to test how quiet it is in the back of the coach. So anything special I need to know about, or are we ready to rock and roll?
No, just make sure that you apply pressure to the brake pedal to get the safety to release on the park brake, and then we're ready to go.
All right. Am I okay to jump on the highway here? And
absolutely.
all right, I'm gonna hammer down on this X15 here to try to get an idea. And these are pretty rough roads here, but we are in sport mode currently. So smooth. I'm very impressed with how rough these roads are and how it's handling.
Well, and it's one of those things that we have learned as we've made improvements to the ride and the handling and the installation and our construction process. Every little noise is now amplified, and you hear stuff that traditionally you would never hear.
Yes, sir. And with this collision mitigation system, this is incredible. It's telling me how many feet I am behind the car in front of me and what their speed is, so I can see, you know, I'm going 53, they're going 63, and I'm 300 feet behind them. And then if you start to get a little too close or you're coming in too hot, will that alert you?
It will. It will. And if you get too close, it will bring the coach to a stop.
Really? It will apply braking.
Yes.
Very cool. Having this split camera, I really like being able to see down both sides of the coach just to expose any blind spots we might have. And damn, these are so smooth. I mean, this is, oh, bam, I love it. I was getting a little too comfortable. I veered out of my lane. It beeped at me, and then it vibrated on my seat to let me know I was going outside of my lane and I needed to pay more attention.
So do me a favor, reach over and switch over to touring mode.
Yes, sir.
Just rock that switch down. There you go. And it'll take about 3 seconds for those valves to open. So we're now in touring mode. So those electronic valves for the performance choice system are now open. And so you should feel a softer feel versus, you know, you're going to feel a little bit more left to right, but it's going to be a softer transition on seams.
Yeah, these are pretty narrow roads here, so it's the orange pylons are taking me outside of that lane, so I think it's confusing the collision mitigation system. But having that collision mitigation could definitely save you some body damage if you go out of your lane here. All right, I'll tell you what, Eli, I'll give you my microphone here. If you can walk to the back of the coach, let's hear how this sounds. We're going about 50 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour right now. just incredible, and the decibel test does not lie, and this is probably one of the newest, nicest motorhomes I've ever driven. Do you know how many miles are on this coach currently?
Look at the very bottom underneath the tack.
210 miles on this coach. So now, how many miles do you and your team drive a coach in the inspection period?
In the testing process,
Yes,
we
sir.
usually put right at 200 miles on a coach in order to make sure that, you know, all of our systems are working properly, all the safety features are working as they should, and you know, making sure that we don't have something that we didn't address.
So this coach has already gone through that testing process.
Yes, this coach is ready to deliver to motorhome specialists.
Very cool. As easy as this drives, I think I could definitely sit behind this wheel for 4 or 5 hours. That'll be a nice trek for somebody. Now, you mentioned the Spartan K4 chassis is about 1,800 pounds heavier than the K3. What is the gross vehicle weight of this coach?
So we typically come in between 49 and 50,000 pounds with a GVWR of 54. So we pay very close attention to that, and that is full of fuel, not water though, because water is considered an optional thing, but that is with 200 gallons of fuel.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go under this 14-foot 7-inch bridge. I'm still nervous in a coach this nice going under this bridge, but looks like a few people have bumped at one point. All right, now we're gonna turn onto this highway here, and I'm gonna try to do a bit of an acceleration test. It's not a true 0 to 60, and we are going up a hill, but I'm gonna hammer down here. Going 30, 35, 45, and now we're at a little bit of a downhill, so this coach is really picking up, but we're at 55 miles an hour, very effortlessly. I've driven a lot of motorhomes, and this is just very smooth. We've talked about the Spartan K4 chassis, but what are some of the other things that are causing such a smooth ride and such a low decibel test reading on this coach?
Right. The insulation, if you think back to how we construct our floor, and then the insulation that we incorporate around the engine, you know, attributing to the ride, we feel that that is where the performance choice is coming in. And right now we're in touring mode, so you have those electric valves open, so we're increasing that air volume by 44%, which in turn produces a 13% smoother ride by all the testing that we have done.
I definitely feel it. And then there's also, we talked about the air seals in the slide rooms. That's going to keep wind noise out while we're going down the roads.
Absolutely. It will seal it off. You don't have a flange that is, you know, compressed against that sidewall that's, you know, creating wind drag. So with that room and that air bladder, it's totally flush with the sidewall.
What else causes such a smooth ride in this coach?
You know, it's part of the performance choice package, you know, with the anti-roll bar, the custom shocks, the air springs, the valving, the ping tanks, you know, that whole package really adds a lot of comfort to it, along with the Premier Steer that we have, you know, where you can adjust the resistance on the wheel. All that ties in and really makes for, you know, a one-finger driving coach.
I can definitely drive this with one finger effortlessly, but I'm gonna keep both hands on the wheel out of respect for the future owner of this coach. And we talked a little bit in the factory tour build process video about the floating floor. Do you think that's keeping down on squeaks and rattles in the house side of the coach?
Absolutely. If you remember, there's no mechanical fastener that goes through that very top layer of wood into the metal substrate. It's all isolated. And so we feel that that is a big factor in transferring noise and vibration into, you know, the cabin of the coach. So overall, your floor is about 5.5 inches thick. How'd that train track feel?
Yeah, very smooth. You know, I barely even noticed it. Yeah, and we'll make a quick 360 here. I want to really test this turning radius. So that's your campground back there?
Yeah, so we have approximately 75 parking spots for customers to come in and utilize, you know, for service work or if they're just traveling through the area.
Oh, that's a nice one. Now, for travel customers only.
Yes, we do charge. I mean, it's minimal if somebody's not a Foretravel customer.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a nice little campground. Good to know about.
You know, and part of our service department, you know, we also have our remodel department, which can go in and do any type of work that somebody may be wanting to do. You know, I've had it do them on a new coach, but I've also had it done on a 20-year-old coach.
Nice.
So we do full service and remodel here as well.
Nice. All right, well, I'm really impressed with this turning radius here.
Yeah, it's like 49 feet curb to curb, and then with the mirrors, it's like 53 wall to wall.
Tyler, I really appreciate you showing us around this incredible coach. Now, got to ask you a couple questions. What is the price of this Foretravel Presidential as it sits?
So the MSRP on this coach is going to be about $1,650,000.
And if someone's a serious and qualified buyer and want to purchase a Foretravel, who should they get a hold of?
Sure, absolutely. So Motorhome Specialist here in Texas is one of our dealers, and then Blue Compass Orlando and Blue Compass in Tampa.
And I have to recommend to folks out there, if they want to see one of these in person, you have one of the best displays at the Tampa RV show. That won't be until next year, but definitely worth visiting with Kyle and his team at the Tampa show if you do get a chance to see their latest and greatest product. And if you didn't already see the factory tour build process video, definitely worth checking that out. We'll leave that in the description below. Kyle, I know you're a busy man. Greatly appreciate your time, sir. Also greatly appreciate everyone out there subscribing to the channel. We hope you're all having a great day.
Thank you very much and have a good day.